This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by space heaters. Someday, they might realize their true potential, but for now, they're just here on Earth. It's Friday, February 17th, 2023. I'm Aaron, and this is my very creative co-host, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris, we'd like to welcome you back to Another Great Day. Hey, let's talk about that sponsor real quick. Space heaters realizing their potential.
Yeah, I mean,
heating
someday.
up space.
It's a tough job.
One tiny unit at a time. Oh, it's so good. Well, everybody, guess what? It's Friday. It's Friday, and you got to get down on Friday. We're all looking forward to the weekend, partying. Yeah.
You are. I was like, are you referencing this old song? You are referencing
We're
this.
going there. We're going to go there. But listen, yes, it's Friday, and that brings us to the final round, the final day of everyone's newest favorite game. The world's talking about it. Top trending topic on Twitter. Denton Record Chronicles' newest favorite segment, the lightning round of 3 random questions. All right, Chris, strap on your thinking cap. Kiddos listening, prepare your minds. Here we go. Question 1. Would you rather go to school in a spaceship or on a horse?
In a spaceship.
There we go. Question number 2. Would you rather live in a beehive or a bear cave?
What? Neither.
Question 3. If you could get one thing for free, what would it be?
What? Wait, free?
Yep.
Time.
Time. What a great answer. So meta. That's deep, folks. Bonus question.
Oh, no.
Bonus. What is the one thing you'd like to do this weekend?
Eat nice food.
All right, and that concludes our new game. And remember, kids, there's no wrong answers in the game. Lightning round of 3 random questions. All right, Chris, you are a great sport. Thank you so much. I know that is your nightmare, having to answer questions super fast and on the spot. So everybody, kiddos, everybody, if you see Chris, give him a pat on the back. Thank him for his hard work.
The only way I'll get better is if I do it. So, that's why I'm here. I'll show up.
You know what? That, sir, is a great life lesson. Thank you for saying that. You must go through most things to get better. Well, we hope you had a great time with that segment this week. We are going to retire that for a while and do something different next week. But speaking of retiring, we would like to not retire. And when I say retire, I mean put on a new tire on the This Day in History bus as we drive over to the This Day in History pavilion and have a delicious lunch with this tasty morsel. On this day in 1972, the Volkswagen Beetle, a small German car, overtakes the Ford Model T as the world's best-selling car. Yep, beloved podcast audience, on February 17th, 1972, the 15,007,034th Volkswagen Beetle comes off the assembly line, breaking a world car production record held for more than 4 decades. That's 40 years, kids. And that record was held by the Ford Motor Company's iconic Model T, which was in production from the year 1908 to 1927. And now, kids, you might know this car as a punch buggy or a slug bug. And if you see one right now, don't punch your friend. Okay? All right. Isn't that neat, Chris? Can you believe that?
1972. That's why they were so popular in that time period, I guess. They were everywhere.
And do you remember where the engine was on this car?
In the rear? Is that right?
Yeah. Just like a Tesla. You'd pop the hood.
The trunk is in the front.
Yep, the trunk is in the front. So if you're on a trip and you've packed the trunk, which is on the front, and you get in a car accident, and you run into something, all your stuff's broken now. The car can still get there.
If it's closed, it's not that big a deal.
Right. Or if it's a bunch of, let's say you're just taking a bunch of packing peanuts or those little popping shipping container thingies that we like to stand on and pop one at a time.
Lots of fine china glassware. No problem.
Confetti fireworks. That would be so hilarious.
You had to reckon.
What's happened here? And the clown car accidentally had a fender bender.
Oh, no.
Everyone's fine, but there's confetti everywhere. We're having a ticker tape parade. Congratulations. Well, that's the kind of things you get on this podcast that you won't get anywhere else. Let's go ahead and move on to the discussion question of the day. Yep. This next segment is called the question of the day. If you're new to this, we're going to ask a question, encourage you to stop down, answer the question with those around you. We'll give you about 10 seconds to answer. And if you need more time, feel free to pause the show and come right back. Today's question is, if you could drive any kind of vehicle, what would it be? All right, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to discuss the question, if you could drive any kind of vehicle, what would it be and why? So, Chris, what kind of vehicle would you drive if you could drive anything?
My first thought was a realistic answer, which is just like a small pickup truck, because I don't have one. It'd be nice. But then I thought, that's boring. And then I thought, what's the most practical, outlandish vehicle? Like, you could actually still get somewhere, but it's also really weird. And I was thinking of, in one of the newer Jurassic Park movies, they have these these glass orbs, these spheres.
Oh,
that you can ride in. I don't remember if they can be controlled off of a track, but if you could control them off of a track, it'd be like you sitting in like a hamster ball, I guess, driving around.
That's a great description. That's amazing.
But I realized the downfall immediately would be, if it was muddy, you couldn't see ever again. It's just glass or whatever it would be.
This is very true.
Yeah, and how would you have windshield wipers on it? Maybe you just have to have really good wax.
Yeah, or maybe it like vibrates somehow and it vibrates the mud off. I don't know.
Of course, it's sci-fi, so it can do whatever you want.
We've invented this. Well, speaking of sci-fi, my answer is kind of similar. I would like an impractical car, but I think this is a really cool car. In fact, a guy about 3 streets down has one of these. If I could drive anything, I would drive a DeLorean.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yes. So the DeLorean, as made famous in the Back to the Future movies, is a stainless steel sports car, and it was only made from 1981 to 1983. So it's extremely limited edition. There are rumors that the DeLorean's coming back, but it's going to be like $180,000 or $200,000 car. I mean, it's going to be.
This is a small 2-door 80s model, straight lines, metal shining, with the wing doors that come up on the sides.
Yes, exactly.
And there's a flux capacitor in the back.
And if you drive 88 miles per hour, you can get anywhere you want in time. You just have to fill it up with lots of aluminum cans and trash and stuff.
Would you have to go back in time?
Gotta go back in time. Oh, man. Huey Lewis in the News. Huey Lewis. Okay, quick bonus question. Huey Lewis in the News or Kenny Loggins? Who wrote better 80s and 90s theme song music?
Was Kenny Loggins the one who did Top Gun with the fire?
Highway to the Danger Zone.
Danger Zone, yeah.
Yep. He did Caddyshack, the I'm All Right, and Nobody Worry About Me. And then probably second most famously, he did Footloose.
Oh. Compared to Huey Lewis in the News, who only did Back in Time?
You know what? I should have been more prepared to discuss this. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Hey, Chris.
Hey, AP.
Line.
I thought it would be something complicated. So what's happening here is that Chris found it really funny that he had such a simple line written out, and that he messed it up. It was so simple.
In an ever-growing world of trouble and pain, it's hard to know where to turn. But don't worry, folks. You have dad jokes to turn to, and that's what we're presenting next. I think that intro was better than the actual joke.
Oh my goodness.
All right, today's dad joke is, I asked my dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. This part of our show is called The Word of Wisdom, and this is where we'll take a minute to go through a proverb or a wise saying and then give you our take. So without further ado, Chris, would you mind reading today's Word of Wisdom?
Today's word of wisdom comes to us from Proverbs 19:5. 19:5. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape.
Yikes.
Ooh, if you're lying, you don't escape.
Well, let me ask you, Chris, have you ever told a lie? And have you ever told a lie and you thought you got away with it?
I have told a lie, and then I thought I got away with it. I got to confess what the lie was.
Yes. And I'd also like to raise my hand and say, I too have told a lie and thought I got away with it.
I found a couple of dollar bills on my parents' dresser whenever I was in 4th grade, and I took them to the dollar store and bought a Hot Wheel.
Oh,
and then I got punished.
Oh, busted.
Yeah, it was not great.
I got busted similarly. It was just about as well thought out as yours. I was in elementary school. Mom said, "Did you brush your teeth?" I said, "Yes." "Let me smell." There's no hiding that in the morning on the way to school.
Yeah.
It was bad, and I was also punished. So good job. Thank you, moms and dads, for punishing us.
Before I got caught, I felt terrible. I was hiding the toy. It was all around bad.
Wow.
It was just, I don't know why. I mean, I know why. It's all bad. It's just a bad decision.
Holy Spirit, activate. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is the Lord in his wisdom lets us little humans with our little human brains know that we aren't getting away with anything. So dear listeners, even if we may trick a person, we cannot trick God. So remember that the next time you're tempted to lie. With that, let's hit the music and call it a week. Chris, I want to say thank you to you for taking the time to make this show and do all the audio editing that you put your heart and soul into. It's awesome. So thank you. And I want to thank all of you who take the time to listen, who subscribe, and who share the show with others. So thank you guys for your support and your encouragement. We hope this is a blessing to you and yours as we all try to make it another great day. We'll see you next week. Coal miner man. I just came up from working and I'm dirty.
Is that the son of the old prospector?
That's my uncle. Yeah. Yeah, you know him? You met him?
I've met the old prospector. He was out walking fences one day, and he
sounds like him.
Stumbled upon some wild watermelons.
Oh, well, listen, if you got a minute, I heard your question about what kind of car you could drive, if you could drive anything. And I noticed that I listen to this show all the time. I'm a faithful listener, but first time I've ever written in and I wrote, voice memoed in or whatever. And I know you like Donkey Kong Country, so I'm surprised you didn't try to say you wanted to ride one of them mine carts with them monkeys that wear clothes. Huh? And as a coal miner, I'm personally offended.
That's true. I could. That would be a really awesome car if there was a machine somehow magically powered mine cart that I could, especially if I could grab the front of it and hop around.
Yeah, that car can jump. It can slow down. I put those monkeys to work. I tell you what. All right, I got to go back to work now. Bye. Have a great week. All right, bye, Mr. Coal Miner. Thanks for visiting. Hope you find your dad.
Thank you, Coal Miner Bob.
Tell Donkey Kong hello for us and Diddy. All right, I will. Bye.
The end.
Give AP a raise.